Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Archie Tech Experiment. If you didn't go see the first half of this show, then make sure you go check that out. It's a nice discussion on gun violence and mass shootings and gun laws, my opinions. Today, we have Gary Beaudry, ex-con and founder of Border Pack Entertainment. I'm going to bring him in right now so we could just get straight to it. I don't want to waste no time. He's a very interesting guest. And this is sure to be an amazing episode. So let's get him in and see what he is all about. What's going on, Gary? My man. We just waiting for you for your audio to connect. Can you hear us? You all set? You all set, my man? Welcome to the Archie Tech Experiment. It's good to have you. So I didn't give the guests, I didn't give the viewers too much about you. I don't want it to be repetitive when you give your story. I wanted to come straight from you. So let's start with a little bit about what brought you to your prison sentence.
All right, so like back in the day, you know, my mom used to fuck with drugs and shit, and I used to hustle a little bit and stuff. And basically I got on a can't beat them, join them stuff. I was like 23, and it was 23 is when I got locked. But before that, I started messing with dope and caught a habit, ended up doing some robberies, stuff like that, and ended up doing 15 and a half years.
15 and a half years. That is a long time, man. I wanted to kind of get into that. What was prison like for you? Like, what experiences did you have in there?
Yo, early prison was a little rougher than later because, you know, you don't really give a fuck. You like, excuse my language.
No, you good, man. This is an 18 plus show here.
Cool. Because I didn't really give a fuck early on. So like, you know, I just looked at the outcome of, 18 years. I was 23 at the time. So I take away 18 off of that. That's 5. Like that's how I felt. Like I was like, that's the life I lived from 5 years old till now is what by the time I'm gonna do. So I didn't really care about the future too much. But as time progressed and my ticket history and stuff at the time didn't allow me to get many jobs. So like I couldn't really do much. So I decided to calm down a little, ended up getting a commissary job, you know what I'm saying, then an industry job. So that's what really changed for me was working for 30 cents an hour. Welding and stuff like that for 30 cents an hour. If I could do it in there for that, I figured I could come out here and do it. You know what I'm saying? So that mentality, that's kind of like where I progressed, doing stuff like that.
All right. So, and just like briefly, I want to touch on like, what was it like mentally for you? Like, because it's a different world in prison, and a lot of people that have never been there don't know, like it's a completely different world and you got to adapt to a completely different environment than what's out here in society.
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially like I'll say the biggest thing for me was just having to listen to other people tell you what to do, when to do it. Like you can't make your choices. So when you first go in, it's like fuck you talking about type shit. But then you get used to it and then you just do it automatically. You don't have to be told no more because you don't want to hear anybody's like mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to hear the COs telling you this and that, so you just do what you're supposed to do. But early, it's definitely a adjustment phase, getting used to just not being able to like do what you want, not being able to shower when you want, not be able to go out, use the phone when you want, not be able to use the bathroom when you want. You feel me? So all that stuff was adjustments,
Absolutely, man. That must have been a tough adjustment to make. And like, what about when you got out? So you did 15 years flat.
Yeah, I did 15 and a half and flat, and I was sentenced to 18, but I made parole or whatever. So, but during that time, I also I taught alternative violence programs, which also equipped me for coming out. You know what I'm saying? So like later in my bed, probably the last 5 years, I was a facilitator of that group called Alternative Violence Project. It's a worldwide group. They do groups in Africa, everything around the world for any kind of conflict resolution. It's like so that was definitely a plus for me as well,
So having that under your belt and being a facilitator too, kudos to you for that. That helped you think with your transition back into society?
Absolutely, because some of the tools in there like definitely came out. like, because you got to realize, like, I'll say one thing for certain is, I was in the halfway house. I started working. I got a welding job right from the halfway house, and I started working. And fast, I learned people don't like in there. You don't say certain things. You don't call another man certain stuff. You don't do say certain. But out here, people don't live by them same codes. So that was a learning experience to hear shit like that and not react. But
And not
yeah,
react. That's crazy,
yeah.
because I was going to ask too, like, what type of habits did you develop in prison in order to survive in that environment that was kind of tough to break when you got out?
That was probably what I was just saying is like the way people talk to each other out here was probably like, especially like in a construction environment and stuff. It's like that was probably one of the like hardest adjustments for me because I used to be on the phone with my homegirl and she'd say suck my balls on the phone and I would be boiling and I'm on the phone and it's I know she means nothing by it, but that was just ingrained, you know? Stuff
Absolutely. You
like
was
that.
kind of just conditioned to be offended by
Yeah,
certain things that's
yeah,
not so offensive out here. So that must
right.
have been like kind of crazy
Yeah.
too. So like, what did you do to like kind of drop those habits when you realize like, all right, I'm back out now? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
No,
what?
I realized real fast that people don't live by the same code. And I just realized it real quick. And I realized that these are like young dudes, they're like 20 something, and they don't really know better. They never really been. So they don't mean no disrespect. It's all about intent. You feel me? So I
Yeah,
guess
that's yeah.
basically that's how I basically did it. Because in prison, if you say that to somebody, your intent is to fight them or do something right then. Because you'll never say that unless you intend to fight. You feel me?
That's a
Like
fact.
intent
And too, so I wanted like, you can't just go off the rails out here. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like, cause somebody's staring at you and just be like,
right.
oh, it's about to go
And
down. You
that's
kind
where
of got to show
ABC,
more.
yeah,
Yeah. You kind of got to show more poise. Like, all
yeah,
right, maybe he don't want to take it to that level, because in prison there's two levels. It's either cool
or not.
or
Yeah,
yeah, or not.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but all right, so and then you got out and you started your own business, correct?
Yeah, so in there I started so in there this is what happened. In there I was working in industries, right? And I learned to weld and all that stuff. And my boss was cool with me like cuz I did whatever I had to do. So he came to me one day and he's like, "Oh yeah, don't work for nobody. You know what I'm saying? You two whatever, don't even if you got to hustle and weld grocery carriages or some shit." And I said, "Yo, I'm about to do this with these pictures, right?" I was joking. And he said, "Well, who would be your competition?" And I told him this name of this company that's like half-assed. And he went upstairs and he Googled them or whatever he did and came down and told me they make 750,000 a year. And I was like, damn, I could hustle way harder than that. So I started developing the business plan in prison, came up with the name for the pack, everything. My journals were written in the cell. My business plan was written in the cell. You feel me?
That's
Yeah.
crazy, bro. And then and you came home and you stuck to it. And so what was kind of your inspiration when you got out? Like I
Yeah.
know because like when you in that cell, you in that zone, you get the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
like all the best ideas come to you when you in that cell. But what
Right.
kind of helped you stick to it when you got out here through all the trials and tribulations of like trying to transition back into society?
Yeah.
Like what held you together to be like, I'm about to get this done?
Yo, so for me, it was like I was working, right? I was doing the welding stuff because I had a plan to get a house. So I had to stay welding no matter what. So I used to work like 8 hours welding and I'd come home and bust my ass on this for another eight. Like I barely slept anything at first. So the difference is like from the halfway house, even, yo, when my dudes, like, and I was in there with some dudes, but I saw the difference between somebody who did a lot of time. I had a couple dudes who did a lot of time and a couple dudes who did little time. Little time dudes was trying to slide out and fuck their girls. Dudes with big time who just did 15, we was sliding off getting our licenses and going to programs and shit. We were still sliding off, but we was going to slide off for different shit. You feel me? We wasn't going to get fucked up and shit because we just did 15 and a half years. We're not trying to go back. We don't know how, like, you know. So that's the type of shit I was doing. And so I was just focused. Like I wasn't partying, I wasn't doing nothing. All I was doing was working. So the thing that kept me going though mostly is because I've never even been on a computer before I got out. So I had to learn that shit, and that was trial and error. I messed up a lot of stuff in the beginning, but when I get a letter from a dude who's been on SEG for 5 years, and he's talking about that's the first piece of mail he got and how that made his day, that pushed me to continue on.
Not to cut you off, but like just to backtrack a little bit, explain to
Yeah.
the viewers a little bit of what you do. What does For the Pack, what kind of
All
services
right.
For the Pack
Yeah.
actually provides?
All right. So For the Pack Entertainment, basically started off as a picture company mostly, you feel me? But we've branched off and we've been trying to do a lot of other things. But basically we're an inmate service provider. So anything a dude could want locked up, gifts for their kids, whatever done, they could do it through us. Like they could shoot us the money, we'll order through Amazon. And we're not gouging like people. Like there's places out there that do that shit, they charge triple the price. Like we don't do that, because like our little slogan is they do it for $1, we do it for the pack. You feel me? Because that's what it is. Real motherfuckers return with food for the pack. That's what the whole for the pack is.
I like
You feel
that.
me?
I like
It's
that.
like the wolf, you know what I'm saying? The wolf mentality of like motherfucker go out but return with food for the pack. So like that's what it became. And then like, you know, we had issues up and downs. We're finally back on a good wave though. Last couple of years been real rough, but somehow, some way we weathered it. You feel me? Like, and right now we right back at it. Like we right back to where we were a couple, like, and excelling further, you know. Thing is, I took my eye off things. I learned a few valuable lessons. You know, growing too fast is just as bad as not growing at all. It may be worse. You feel me? That's definite. And hiring family, man. Hiring family is a no-no, and it's something that I've always heard, but I was like, not me. But
Keep
yeah,
it
me
away
too.
from, yeah. I
Me
can see,
too,
I can
yo.
see how that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I feel like if you could do 15 and a half years, come home and just maintain that type of fortitude and to start a business, sky's the limit. Like
No, and
a
that's what I
couple
think.
years, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a couple years of lows, I guarantee you about to skyrocket from here,
Oh
bro. I
no,
can
that's
see
what
that.
I say. It's like the Phoenix. That's what I feel like right now. I feel like it's the rebirth. Just got out of this car accident, little hospital trip. You feel me? Nothing but up from here though. But like, you know, I'm blessed too. But like, you know, it's about that grind. It's about that hustle. It's what you choose to do when you come out. Like people can say all day that they got this, that, and this excuse. Yo, I came out to nothing. I didn't have no welcome home party or nothing like that. I didn't have get it right. I came out and I got right on the grind. That was it. You feel
Got
me?
right
And
on the
that's it.
grind.
And that was like what did it. But I ain't gonna lie, probably burnt myself out and you know, had a rough couple years because of the burnout. And then, you know, just I got like, you know, bad taste in my mouth about some things and took my eye off things, but you know, regrouped, was able to,
it's sometimes, in my experience, is sometimes when you take a couple steps back, that you could kind of you could kind of like reevaluate things, you know what I'm saying, and then take 4 steps forward.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, 4 steps. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So you kind of double back and then double up. So the 40 pack entertainment. Do you feel like being in prison kind of gives you a passion for what you do, like helping other prisoners get those pictures? Because you know, like that means the world to a prisoner.
Right.
Yeah, that little, like, you know what I'm saying? It might seem small to people that have never been to prison, but that, you know what I mean? And prison, you get some pictures, that could make your whole week, you know what I mean?
Right. And yo, and like the thing is like in there we use them as like baseball cards, basically trading and shit. You do all kinds of, you use them as money, kind of like whatever. So it's a good, so that definitely drives me to do it more. And yo, I'm telling you, the last couple of years, things fell apart a little bit and things were backed up. Yo, I couldn't sleep right because of this shit. Because I started this shit against the people that used to treat us like, because there's a bunch of companies that do the same thing, but they treat us like they treated us like we ain't shit because we locked up. And what kind of recourse do we have if they just beat us type shit? You feel me? So like, I started feeling like I was on that type of wave almost because dudes were waiting so long and I felt like shit about it because that's like that shit's not the purpose. You feel me? I'm like, I feel like to prey off somebody locked up, that's some bottom feeding bitch shit. You feel me? And that's not that's never what it would be. You feel me? Like, so just the fact that motherfucking like the thought that, you know what I'm saying? Because the delays, but whatever, you know, it's all cleared up now and I feel good about it. Like man, in the last few months, we went through like 2 years of work, bro.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Right. Yeah, and we got everybody back on board. Everybody happy we back. Like,
and could like people that have loved ones in prison that's not actually in prison, could they also use your services?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like if they want to like send their loved one sign or whatever. Yeah, we got a little Facebook page for the Pack Entertainment. We got a little website for the packentertainment.com.
How do you spell that? How do you spell that? Just in case somebody wanted to get with you from.
Yeah, the number 4 and then THEPACKENTER entertainment.
Figure it out. Yeah. So 40 Pack Entertainment, you got any other social medias besides Facebook?
Not really right now, but we're gonna start pushing some things.
Growing into it. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
highly recommend it because it seemed
yeah.
like everybody using these type of tools to
Yo,
like,
on some real shit, bro.
grow their
Like,
brands.
yeah, man, and it's like good advertising, TikTok, whatever. All that stuff's good. Like, I like what you're doing. You got to push your stuff out on more things. Feel me?
Yeah. I'm trying to grow. I'm
We
trying to grow. Yeah, I am the architect, man.
I
Just
like that.
creating, man. And I
Yeah,
enjoy it. I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
yeah.
So what other kind of goals you got going on into the
All
future?
right.
Because it seemed like, man, you could do anything you want from
No,
here,
so
bro.
yeah, the picture thing is like basically that's basic. So what happened was where my shit went off is I started doing other things, started setting up the pen pal services and all that stuff, and I took my eye off the picture and felt like I could leave it to other people to take care of, but they didn't take care of it properly. My fault for not keeping my eye on it, whatever. But I was focused on the other stuff. So the fact that I had to jump back to the pictures and take shit there, I had to leave that alone now. So now I got some money invested. I got some websites halfway put together, just waiting on a couple like sample profiles basically to get up and running. But I want to start something for like, not how we got victim services and stuff for everybody. Want to start like a little community thing for the criminals family, the so-called whatever convicts family, because you know what, they don't ever like there's nothing ever said about them. My daughter
Wow,
suffered
that's amazing, bro.
my
Yeah.
daughter suffered more than I did, bro. My daughter had to grow up from fucking 1 to 16 without a father. I was up there with 3 hots and a cot and a fucking Game Boy, man. I was straight. I didn't have no responsibilities. I was locked up away from my people, but my people were the ones suffering.
Suffering. And I think a lot of people don't put enough emphasis on that. Is that
Nah, they
the
don't
family
because
suffer more than the actual prisoner does.
man, and
Yeah.
the family suffering ways, other ways too, because either they gotta lie about it or they gotta explain it. You feel me? And that's stuff that and not everybody wants to do. You feel me?
Exactly.
And then it's like depending on the case, man. Some like my boy's mom who lives here right now. I told you my old Sally's mom lives here because he used to worry about it all the time and shit. So she here and like she had it rough when that case first happened out there, but nothing she never even did. So it just gave me another perspective too. Feel me? Like
Yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yo, you are an inspiration to everybody. I think people seeing this, I hope you inspire. Like, yo, you just an
Yo,
all
that's the
around
thing.
good fucking dude, bro.
I'm gonna tell you like this too, bro. Real talk on some real shit. Like dudes like write and say that. Yo, I just had a rough couple years. I'm talking about when I talk about like I walked through hell like worse than I would trade those 2 years for the 15 I did. Yo, these last two were rough, but I walked through hell to come out the other side. You feel me? So it's like I'm on some different shit right now. I'm trying to do a lot of positive shit, whatever I can do. I want to introduce Kabbalah to dudes in prison, shit like that. That's because I already have the customer base, and the studies of that kind of changed my life, changed my views on a lot of things. You feel me? So,
Absolutely, absolutely. So
yeah.
yeah,
But yo,
I looked a little bit into the Kabbalah. I actually do love the Kabbalah for real. So
you
I
feel me?
didn't know that about you either. I didn't
Yeah,
know that
no,
you was into
that's
that because
because yo,
we
because
could have
it's
been
new.
building on that, bro.
Yeah,
I did not know that about you, but I'm sure.
this is what I'm reading right now.
I like that. We're gonna get to it further on down.
Yeah,
We'll get to that. But
yeah.
like as you were saying, like you would have traded those 2 years for that 15. What do you
Because
think is harder? Like because prison is stressful.
yeah, prison's stressful. Yo, I'm gonna tell you, like my
What do you
bid.
think? Sorry to cut you off, but what do
No,
you
go
think
ahead.
is more? What do you think is more stressful, being in prison or being freshly released, or building a business? Out of
That's
those
a
three
hard one.
things, yeah,
No, that's a hard one,
I know
yo.
I'll put you on the spot. I know I'll put you on the
Well, all
spot,
right.
but
So I'll say this: the hardest things. We'll go back for the sentence, right? Let's say the first before sentencing, facing the time. All right, facing the time was stressful because I was facing like buck 27. You feel me? So like I was facing that until then was worse. That was stressful. So that would probably take the cake out of all of it. The not knowing phase of that because it just facing all that time, not really knowing. And I had a lot of things happen in that first year too, man. My mom OD'd in that first year and it passed and shit like that. So she was 44
wow,
years old. You feel me? And that was like my heart. That was my like people used to think we was a couple because we was together all the time type shit. Like she looked young and stuff, but so like right before my first 8 months, she passed. Um, so that was tough. Right there was tough. Like facing that time and not knowing and going to court. They give you bullpen therapy. They pull you out your cell at 3 in the morning to sit and fucking on a bus shackled till 10 o'clock at night to court So you go 3 times a week to that, you're ready to cop out. You feel me? That's what they do. They
And
call it the
that's part of the plan. I feel like that's part of the
yeah.
plan.
Oh, it
Yeah.
definitely is. Break them down, it's all part of the plan, because they don't
Absolutely.
want, saving money by just copping out. But yeah, so that was a little bit rough. Starting a business was tough too, yo, because like I had a lot of pitfalls in that too, because it's like I had to learn all that. I never been on a computer before. I did all this shit myself. I had to keep the books myself. I had to do every single fucking thing myself, like everything at first. And I wasn't taking no money out of it. I didn't take a dime out of it for 2 years, basically. I was working the other job and letting this shit stack up and invest in. So, we had a lot more equipment. We had a lot of stuff going on. We had an office outside of here for a while, but now we back at the house. We just working, we got a basement office, stuff like that. So everything's good. It's a little less overhead, easier to come back. But yo, I'm telling you, like my main focus is coming up with a system, like straight up, like to deliver the Kabbalah to dudes in prison, because you know what, they ain't getting it, because I
Yeah.
never learned about it in there. Yo,
Yeah.
if I had access to the information that I do now, things would have been a lot
And
different.
I was going to say too, not just the Kabbalah, but information in general. I was fortunately blessed with somebody that was sending me books often, and that was a blessing. Shout out to him. Love you, Paul. But too, like just getting education into the prisons, in general would be a good thing. We running on kind of a time frame, so I want to kind of get to it. But what advice would you give to somebody that's just getting out of prison and wanting to like stay, just not even maybe even be successful, but just live a normal life? You know what I'm saying? What advice would you give to that?
Straight up, like the best advice I could give is don't chase what you consider lost time. That's it, because it's not even, because that's a perception, because it's not lost time. Because you know what? That was my college. That's what got me to where I'm at now. That's like the lessons I've learned. Like if I've spelled out the lessons I've learned, or it would take a couple days probably, but then they've been rough. But I wouldn't change them.
That's
I would
deep,
eat them
bro.
up just the same, like, and like right up until this car crash, bro. This car crash wasn't nothing good. I literally pulled myself out on the Windsor Locks Bridge, bro, and crawled to the guardrail, not even able to walk because my hip was dislocated and shit. This was like 6 weeks ago. You feel me?
Yeah,
So like,
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna boot you out now. Unfortunately, we run out of time, but I definitely want to get you back on the show so we could discuss other things, because I did not know you was into the Kabbalah, all that. So we're going, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to definitely get you back on the show and get into all of that, man. And I want to know more about that car crash too. That you know what I'm saying? That's part of your story. We don't have enough time to get to it today, but we're definitely going to get.
But it's just another test, yo. That's all I gotta say. Just another test.
Just another test, bro. And I'm glad to see you out and doing so good. That's a beautiful thing, bro. We big fans of you for the Pack Entertainment. Make sure to all the viewers, if you got loved ones in prison, get with Gary, and they gonna make sure that your loved ones taken care of it.
We're gonna do what we do, man. We're gonna do it because we do it for the people. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple pictures of make your loved ones whole week. And
anything,
you know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Like we trying to make a real quick before I know we get on time thing, but the pen pal stuff I'm working on is a whole social media, everything, a whole social media blast. They can put them a Facebook presence so the families can connect with them right there, and they can send messages and post on Facebook, all that. That's what's in the works.
Okay. Absolutely, bro. Well, you enjoy your day. I know you're a busy man. You probably got a lot of things to do. I'm gonna boot you into the waiting room and give the viewers a little bit of what I got going on next week.
All right, bro.
All right, take care, man. Always love. All is love, bro.
Nothing but love. Be safe, all right?
Definitely. Yeah. All right, that was Gary Beaudry. I like the way that interview went. He's a very interesting person, man. We wish him well for the Pack Entertainment and all of that. Next week, we have a certified trauma-informed spiritual life and breathwork coach. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get through. That's a mouthful. Amari Sayers will be joining us next week. She inspires women everywhere to kind of paint a picture of their dreams and manifest it into reality. So we're going to get with her and see like exactly what type of life coach she is. Maybe she can even fix me. We don't know. We're going to figure it all out with Amari next week, guys. Make sure you join me. as always, love each other. You know what I'm saying? With everything that's going on in the world right now, it's more important for us right now than ever to kind of just come together, be one, love each other, be kind to each other, help each other out. If you see someone that needs a hand, give them a hand, uplift each other and your communities, and let's keep it going, baby. Keep going with me. This Archie Tech signing off. I love y'all.